Angie Wells, in her late 20s, is a talented and ambitious event planner working under the demanding yet supportive guidance of her aunt, Debbie, played by Mindy Cohn. Angie dreams of opening her own event planning business one day, but for now, she's stuck coordinating parties for wealthy clients who rarely acknowledge her creativity. Her latest assignment: planning the annual Christmas Masquerade ball for the elite Karmichael family, a glitzy affair known for its grandeur and opulence. Angie is determined to make this event a flawless masterpiece. Knowing it could be the launching pad for her career, she works late nights designing elegant centerpieces, coordinating menus, and managing temperamental vendors. Despite the stress, she finds joy in the details: the scent of fresh pine, the shimmer of gold ribbons, and the anticipation that magic might unfold on Christmas Eve. Meanwhile, across town in the Karmichael mansion, Nicholas Karmichael, Peter Porte, a charming but aimless bachelor, is being lectured by his sophisticated and controlling aunt, Victoria Karmichael, Leslie Ann Down. She reminds him that his inheritance, tied to a legacy business empire, is contingent upon settling down with a suitable partner by the end of the year. With only a few weeks left, she urges him to attend the upcoming ball and choose wisely. Nicholas, frustrated with the expectations placed upon him, agrees to go, but on his own terms. He decides to wear a mask and blend in with the crowd, hoping to find someone who loves him for who he is, not for his last name or fortune. As the ball approaches, both Angie and Nicholas are unaware that fate is about to place them in each other's path. Amid the twinkling lights, garlands, and holiday melodies, their story is just beginning, one filled with charm, choices, and a little Christmas magic. The grand Karmichael estate is transformed into a winter wonderland for the annual Christmas Masquerade Ball. Snow-dusted topiaries line the entryway. A string quartet plays elegant carols, and glittering chandeliers cast a golden glow over the crowd. Guests in exquisite gowns and tailored tuxedos swirl through the ballroom, each hidden behind ornate masks, creating an air of mystery and enchantment. Angie, dressed in a borrowed midnight blue gown and a delicate silver mask, blends into the sea of high society. She's there professionally, checking table arrangements, confirming catering details, and ensuring everything runs smoothly. But at Aunt Debbie's insistence, she agrees to take a moment to enjoy the magic she helped create. Angie lingers near the dance floor, enchanted by the fairy tale atmosphere she orchestrated, secretly wondering what it would feel like to be part of that world. Nicholas arrives fashionably late, his identity concealed behind a sleek black mask. Tired of being pursued for his name and wealth, he relishes the anonymity. As he surveys the room, his eyes lock onto Angie across the ballroom. Drawn by something he can't explain, he approaches her and politely asks for a dance. Caught off guard but intrigued, Angie accepts. The music swells as the two glide across the dance floor, their movements natural and synchronized. They talk, laugh, and share playful banter, discovering a surprising ease between them. Angie introduces herself only as A, and Nicholas simply goes by N. Neither realizes who the other truly is, just two strangers sharing a moment away from expectations and reality. They step outside for a breath of fresh air under the starlit sky. Snow begins to fall gently around them. Nicholas is captivated by Angie's intelligence, humor, and genuine spirit. Angie is struck by his warmth and attentiveness, so unlike the snobby men she usually meets at these events. It feels like a dream. But before she can gather the courage to reveal her name or ask his, Nicholas receives an urgent call from Victoria, demanding his presence to meet a family associate. Reluctantly, he excuses himself, promising to return. Angie waits by the Christmas tree in the ballroom, her heart racing, but he never comes back. As midnight strikes, she slips away into the night, leaving only a hint of her presence behind. A tiny snowflake charm that fell from her bracelet. Nicholas returns too late, searching the ballroom for the girl in blue, but she's gone. All he knows is the memory of a perfect dance and the mystery woman who stole his heart. The morning after the ball, Nicholas wakes with a sense of urgency, and for once, not because of a business meeting or family obligation. He can't stop thinking about her, the woman with the silver mask and the midnight blue gown, whose laughter stayed with him longer than the music. He doesn't know her name, who she came with, or where she's from. All he has is a single clue, a small snowflake charm he found near the dance floor where they last spoke. Much to the disbelief and amusement of his friends, Nicholas declares that he's going to find her. His closest friend and confidant, Henry, jokes that Nicholas has finally read one too many fairy tales. His Aunt Victoria, however, is less amused. She dismisses his quest as foolish and pressures him to focus on more suitable matches from her approved list of socialite daughters. But Nicholas refuses. For once, he wants something real. He begins his search by discreetly questioning the event staff and reviewing guest lists. When that leads nowhere, thanks in part to the anonymity of the Masquerade and Angie's low profile as just the planner, he starts attending every holiday function he can. Galas, charity auctions, tree lighting ceremonies, secretly hoping to spot her in a crowd. Meanwhile, Angie is back to work, helping coordinate post-ball events while nursing a heart full of questions. Did he come back? Did he look for her? She keeps the memory tucked away, but doesn't dare believe that someone like him, a guest in a world so different from her own, would search for someone like her. Ironically, Angie ends up unknowingly crossing paths with Nicholas more than once during this time. At a holiday toy drive, they brush past each other. At a fundraiser, she handles the logistics, while he mingles with donors on the other side of the room. Each time, fate teases them, so close, yet still apart. Nicholas even tries a public plea through a local holiday radio segment, describing the mystery woman he danced with and asking her to come forward. But Angie hears it only in passing, assuming it's meant for someone far more glamorous. Despite the dead ends, Nicholas remains undeterred. He's convinced that what they shared wasn't just holiday magic, it was real. And he won't give up until he finds her, no matter how long it takes. Back in her cozy one-bedroom apartment above her aunt's floral shop, Angie sips a cup of peppermint tea, staring out the frosted window as snowflakes drift lazily to the ground. The glow of the Christmas lights on her small tree casts soft reflections on the walls, but Angie barely notices. Her mind is replaying every second of that magical night. The dance, the laughter, the way he looked at her like she was the only person in the room. She holds the broken bracelet in her hand, the missing snowflake charm now gone, and wonders what might have happened if Nicholas hadn't been called away. Would they have exchanged names, numbers? Would he have wanted to see her again once he realized she was the event planner, not a guest? Angie confides in her Aunt Debbie, Mindy Cohn, who senses something deeper in her niece's hesitation. Debbie reminds her that she's worked so hard to build a reputation, saving every spare dollar to launch her own event planning business. A romantic fantasy, especially with someone from the wealthy, unreachable Karmichael world, could derail everything. But Angie can't shake the feeling that what she shared with Nicholas wasn't just a fleeting crush. There was something genuine between them. Still, the voice of reason creeps in. Fairy tales don't pay the rent. And more importantly, men like Nicholas Karmichael don't fall for women like her, especially not once the masks come off. Later that night, she unrolls the plans for her dream business, Wells and Wishes Events, and sketches out a new logo. She knows she should stay focused on her goals, but her heart feels split in two. One side pushes her toward a carefully built future. The other tugs her back into the dream of a man who might never find her again. A new job opportunity adds to her confusion. A wealthy client impressed with the ball has offered her a contract that could fund the start of her own company. It's the break she's been waiting for, but it would mean working overtime through the holidays and leaving no time to indulge in what-ifs. Angie faces her first real crossroads. Should she chase the dream she's worked so hard for, or dare to believe in the possibility of love with a stranger who may already be gone? The city is alive with holiday spirit. Storefronts sparkle with festive displays. Carolers sing on street corners, and couples ice skate beneath twinkling lights in the park. Amid this seasonal magic, Nicholas roams the streets, chasing memories of a woman whose name he still doesn't know. With only the snowflake charm and a vague description, every glimpse of silver or hint of blue sends his heart racing, only to be followed by disappointment. At a bustling Christmas market in the city square, Nicholas stops by a booth selling handmade ornaments. Just as he picks up a snowflake ornament, Angie walks by on the other side, holding a clipboard and coordinating a local charity event. Their backs are turned to each other, and fate plays another trick. They're mere feet apart, but never notice one another. Later, Nicholas volunteers at a holiday food drive at the suggestion of Henry, hoping to clear his mind. Meanwhile, Angie delivers decorations to the very same community center. As she carries in a box of garland, Nicholas passes by in a Santa hat, helping carry food baskets. They lock eyes for a split second, a faint flicker of recognition on both faces. But before either can speak, a crowd of volunteers rushes between them. When Angie turns back around, he's already disappeared into the holiday chaos. These near misses continue at a department store where they just miss each other in the elevator, at a coffee shop where Nicholas orders peppermint mocha minutes after Angie leaves. It's as if the universe is playing a romantic game of hide and seek, keeping them close enough to feel the possibility, but not yet ready for the reveal. Despite the missed connections, Nicholas's hope only grows stronger. Each encounter leaves him more convinced that he will find her. At the same time, Angie's heart aches with a strange mix of longing and purpose. Without knowing he's looking for her, she can't help but feel as though something or someone is pulling her closer to a life she never expected. One evening, while walking home from a holiday concert she helped organize, Angie passes by a decorated storefront window. The mannequins are dressed in ballroom attire, their faces covered in masquerade masks. She stops and smiles wistfully, her reflection merging with the display in the glass. Behind her, Nicholas passes by on the opposite sidewalk, but turns a corner before she looks up. Though fate keeps them apart physically, emotionally, their connection deepens. They both begin to wonder, was that night meant to be just a beautiful memory, or the beginning of something real? The city's most anticipated charity gala of the season is held at the historic Wintermere Hall, a dazzling event benefiting underprivileged children. Angie has been hired to oversee the planning and execution. For her, it's the biggest opportunity of her career, a chance to show what she can do on a grand scale, and maybe, just maybe, land the contract that could launch her business. Nicholas, meanwhile, has agreed to attend at the insistence of his Aunt Victoria, Leslie Ann Down, who is eager for him to make a good impression on the philanthropic elite. Though reluctant at first, he ultimately sees it as another chance to look for her, the woman from the Masquerade, who continues to haunt his every waking thought. As the night unfolds, Angie moves through the crowd with practiced grace, clipboard in hand, headset on, ensuring every detail is perfect. From the lighting to the orchestra's playlist, Nicholas arrives fashionably late, but something about the decor, the elegance of the evening, feels familiar. It reminds him of the Masquerade. His eyes scan the room, unconsciously seeking her face. Then, across the ballroom, he sees her. She's standing near the large Christmas tree, giving last-minute directions to the catering team. No gown, no mask, no spotlight. But he knows. It's her. Nicholas starts to walk toward her, just as Angie turns and catches his eye. She freezes. Their breath seems to catch in unison, time slowing around them. When he reaches her, neither of them speaks for a moment. "It's you," Nicholas finally says, his voice soft and full of wonder. "I didn't think you'd remember me," Angie replies, her voice tinged with surprise and nerves. "I've been searching for you," he says, "since the night of the ball." Angie's heart swells, but she keeps her composure. "I thought you were just a guest. I didn't expect you to notice someone like me." Nicholas shakes his head, smiling. "You weren't just someone. You were the one who made that night unforgettable." They step aside to a quiet corner, emotions swirling as they begin to fill in the blanks. Nicholas explains his relentless search. Angie reveals that she was the event planner, not a guest. The illusion of the fairy tale begins to melt into reality, and with it, the complexities of who they are outside the magic of that night. Nicholas is thrilled to finally have found her, but Angie's hesitation grows. "We come from very different worlds, Nicholas. You, and I'm just trying to get my business off the ground." He counters gently, "Does that really matter?" But she's not sure. Her dream is finally within reach, and she's worked too hard to risk it. Falling for a wealthy heir like Nicholas Karmichael could derail everything. Still, their connection is undeniable, and for a moment, the world falls away again. Just the two of them, face to face, no masks, no pretending. The night ends with no promises, but a new beginning, a door finally opened. Following their emotional reunion at the charity gala, Nicholas invites Angie to dinner at the Karmichael estate, a lavish, sprawling mansion nestled on the snowy outskirts of the city. He insists it's just a casual family dinner, but Angie can't help feeling the weight of the invitation. It's not just about dinner. It's about being introduced. She arrives in a modest but elegant dress, her nerves masked by a brave smile. Nicholas greets her warmly at the door, his eyes lighting up the moment he sees her. But as soon as she steps into the grand foyer, Angie feels worlds away from her own life. Crystal chandeliers, oil paintings of stoic ancestors, and a silent butler ushering her into a room filled with wealth and history. This isn't just Nicholas's home, it's a dynasty. Around the long dining table sit members of the Karmichael family. At the head is Aunt Victoria, Leslie Ann Down, regal and observant, sipping her wine with the poise of someone born into privilege. On her left is Clara, Nicholas's cousin, with an icy stare and perfectly styled hair. And to the right, Richard, a snide uncle who whispers sharp comments behind a silver fork. The introductions are polite but chilly. Angie answers questions with charm and sincerity, explaining her passion for event planning and how she got her start. But the subtext in every question is clear. What does a girl like you want from a man like him? Aunt Victoria, in particular, probes deeper. So, Miss Wells, what exactly are your intentions with Nicholas? I assume you know his position in the family business and the importance of discretion and appearances. Angie smiles gracefully. I care about Nicholas, and I have my own goals, ma'am. I'm not looking to be rescued. I'm looking to build something on my own terms. The room falls quiet. Nicholas beams with pride, but his family exchanges skeptical glances. Later, after dinner, Angie and Nicholas walk through the snowy garden. They didn't exactly roll out the red carpet, Angie jokes softly. I'm sorry, Nicholas says, taking her hand. They're protective, but they'll come around. I know who you are, and that's all that matters to me. Angie looks at him, both grateful and hesitant. But I'm not sure it's all that matters. You're part of this world, Nicholas. I'm not, and pretending I belong without losing myself. I don't know if I can do that. He stops walking, turning to her. You don't have to change, Angie. I love you because you're not like them. But even as his words warm her heart, the weight of expectations settles on her shoulders. Angie begins to realize that love alone may not be enough if it means sacrificing who she is. In the days following the tense dinner with the Karmichaels, Angie throws herself into work, trying to shake off the pressure of being judged and measured by people who barely know her. Her apartment is cluttered with swatches, sample menus, vendor contracts, and despite the chaos, her passion is undeniable. This is what she loves. This is who she is. Then the phone rings. It's Margaret Whitmore, Mindy Cohn, a respected philanthropist and owner of a historic downtown venue, calling with exciting news. She was so impressed with Angie's flawless execution of the charity gala that she's offering her a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a lease on the newly restored Starlight Ballroom. The catch? Angie needs to come up with a full business proposal and deposit by New Year's Day. It's everything Angie's ever wanted. A space of her own, a chance to build a name, a legacy, a life on her terms. But it also means long nights, tight budgets, and a sharp focus that leaves little room for distractions, even ones with sparkling eyes and a charming smile. When she tells Nicholas over coffee at a cozy Christmas cafe, he listens intently, pride shining in his eyes. You have to do this, he says, without hesitation. Angie blinks. Even if it means, I won't be at your side for a while. I'll be buried in business plans and spreadsheets, not fancy dinners and galas. Nicholas smiles. I don't need you to fit into my world, Angie. I just want you to live in yours, and let me be part of it however I can. She gazes at him, moved. Most guys in your position would want me to give it all up. Then I'm not most guys, he says, gently brushing her hand. This isn't about money or status. It's about you being brave enough to chase what you love. And I wouldn't love you as much if you didn't. His encouragement means more than she can say. But as she watches him leave to attend yet another Karmichael board meeting, the doubt creeps in again. Can their two paths really intertwine? Angie knows she has to make a choice. And for the first time, she decides she won't choose between love and ambition. She'll fight for both. After days filled with business meetings, planning calls, and late-night sketching of her dream venue, Angie opens her apartment door one evening to find Nicholas standing there with a mischievous grin and a wool coat slung over his shoulder. "Kidnapping you," he announces, with a playful wink. "You need a break." Before she can protest, he hands her a small box containing a pair of elegant gloves. "Wear these. We're going somewhere magical." That somewhere turns out to be a horse-drawn carriage parked outside her building, adorned with twinkling fairy lights and a blanket tucked neatly inside. Angie laughs as Nicholas helps her up and slides in beside her. They ride through the snow-dusted streets of the city, the quiet jingle of bells and glow of holiday lights, lending the evening a dreamlike quality. As the carriage winds through the park, Nicholas tells her stories from his childhood, ones not filled with royal expectations or board meetings, but about sneaking cookies with the kitchen staff and pretending the library was a pirate ship. Angie opens up too, sharing her mother's old Christmas traditions and how she used to cut out magazine pictures of wedding receptions and dream of planning them one day. Later, they arrive at a small hidden bistro where Nicholas has reserved the entire back room, lit with dozens of flickering candles and holly garlands strung overhead. They dine on roasted duck and winter vegetables, and he surprises her with dessert, gingerbread cookies decorated like miniature versions of them. It's in this cocoon of flickering light and soft laughter that something unspoken deepens between them. The tension of status, judgment, and expectations melts away, replaced by a sense of belonging, of home. "I like this version of you," Angie teases, sipping her cider. "No tucks, no pressure, just you." Nicholas takes her hand gently across the table. "This is me. The only part that matters, anyway." They walk home later, hand in hand through softly falling snow. When they reach her doorstep, Nicholas brushes a snowflake from her hair. "I know the world is complicated," he says, voice low, "but when I'm with you, it feels simple." "Right." She nods, heart racing. It does. They kiss, long and tender, beneath the glow of the street lamp, a moment suspended in time, away from boardrooms and ballrooms, rich with promise. But as the holidays draw nearer, both are quietly aware. Real life and its obstacles still wait just around the corner. The warmth of Angie and Nicholas's romantic escape begins to cool when they're pulled back into the demands of their separate worlds. At the Karmichael estate, the pressure is mounting. Nicholas's mother, Victoria Karmichael, Leslie Ann Down, elegant and commanding, summons him to a family luncheon. A formal affair designed, she insists, to gently remind him of his responsibilities. As Nicholas enters the lavish dining room, he's greeted by a table of carefully selected guests, heiresses, socialites, and family friends. Seated prominently among them is Charlotte Danbury, a poised and pedigreed woman who once summered with the Karmichaels in the Hamptons. Victoria introduces her with all the subtlety of a royal proclamation. She's recently returned from Paris, she purrs, brilliant taste in art, and uncommonly well-versed in philanthropy. Nicholas remains polite, but distant. He excuses himself early, but not before catching the knowing glance exchanged between his mother and Charlotte. It's clear this is a setup. Meanwhile, Angie, prepping for a holiday engagement party at the Starlight Ballroom, sees a social media photo pop up on her assistant's phone. Nicholas and Charlotte laughing together, framed by garland at the Karmichael estate. Her smile falters. Later that night, Nicholas drops by the ballroom to surprise Angie with cocoa and fresh-cut holly for her decorations. But Angie's smile is tight, her tone clipped. "Busy night with Charlotte?" she asks, barely hiding the edge in her voice. Nicholas, caught off guard, tries to explain. "It was nothing. My mother, she set it up. I didn't know until I walked in." But Angie's insecurities bubble up. "Maybe she's right. I don't belong in your world. You're meant to marry someone with connections, someone who fits." Nicholas reaches for her hands. "You do belong. With me. None of them matter." "But they matter to your family," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. "And eventually that will matter to you." They stand in the ballroom's soft glow, the air thick with unspoken fears. For the first time, the distance between them feels real. Nicholas leaves, frustrated by his family's interference and Angie's withdrawal. Angie stays behind, staring at the frost gathering on the windows, wondering if love alone is enough to bridge two very different worlds. The following days pass with an uncomfortable tension between Angie and Nicholas. Angie buries herself in her event planning work, throwing herself into the details of her business launch, while Nicholas navigates the ever-increasing pressure from his family to secure his position in high society by marrying a suitable woman. Their communication is strained, with brief texts and a few obligatory calls. But the spark they once shared now feels dimmed by the weight of their conflicting worlds. But Nicholas can't shake the growing realization that he can't live without Angie. No amount of wealth, status, or family approval is worth the hollow feeling he has when she's not by his side. He knows he has to make a choice, his family's expectations or his heart. The opportunity for him to declare his feelings comes when Angie's grand opening at the Starlight Ballroom arrives. It's a glittering event, filled with guests from every corner of the city. The atmosphere is electric, with the ballroom alive with the glow of chandeliers and the festive cheer of the holiday season. Angie is on cloud 9, her dream finally coming to life. Her hard work has paid off, and the event is a resounding success. But despite the smiles and applause, she can't shake the feeling that something is missing. As the evening winds down, Angie steps outside for a brief moment of quiet on the terrace, looking out at the snow-covered streets below. The sound of footsteps in the snow breaks her reverie, and she turns to find Nicholas standing there, the cold air swirling around him, but his eyes warm with resolve. "Angie," he says softly, stepping closer. "I can't keep doing this. I can't keep pretending that what's important to me is anything other than you." She blinks, confused. "Nicholas, what are you talking about?" "You're right," he continues, his voice firm but tender. "I've spent too much time trying to please everyone else, my family, my name, my legacy, and in doing so, I lost sight of what truly matters, what I want." He takes a deep breath, then drops to one knee, causing a gasp from those who've gathered nearby, witnessing the unexpected turn of events. Angie Wells, you're the woman I want by my side, today, tomorrow, and always. I've never been more certain of anything in my life. I don't care what my family says or what society expects. I want to build a life with you, on our terms, with nothing more than love to guide us. Tears well up in Angie's eyes as the crowd watches, breathless. This is a declaration of defiance, of love, yes, but also of freedom from the constraints that have held them both back. Angie's heart races as she takes in his words, the truth behind them sinking deep into her soul. Nicholas, she whispers, shaking her head, you can't just give up everything, your family, your name. I don't want to give it up, he interrupts gently, standing and taking her hands in his. I want to build it with you. You are the person I've been waiting for, Angie, and I'm not letting go. The crowd bursts into applause, but to Angie, the only sound that matters is the beating of her heart. This is it, the moment she's been waiting for. Nicholas isn't just offering her his love, he's offering her a place beside him, in his world, in his heart. I love you, she says, her voice breaking with emotion. And I want to be with you, no matter what challenges come our way. We'll figure it out, together. As Nicholas wraps her in a warm embrace, the crowd cheers, but to them, it's as though the rest of the world has faded away. They've declared their love, and nothing else matters. The journey ahead will be filled with obstacles, but for the first time, they face it with the certainty that they are meant to be together, no matter what. The morning after Nicholas's heartfelt declaration, the world feels different. There's a sense of possibility in the air, but also an undeniable tension that neither of them can shake. Nicholas, still reeling from the bold move he made in front of the crowd, can't stop thinking about Angie's reaction. Her tears, her hesitation, her soft words of love. But there's something else too, a lingering doubt in her eyes that tells him the war between their worlds isn't over yet. Angie, for her part, is struggling. While her heart swells with love for Nicholas, the remnants of their conflict still loom large in her mind. She had been swept up in his romantic gesture, but there are deeper fears at play. Fears about the future, about their ability to truly make it work.
Her own dreams of independence and success in her business have always been at the forefront of her mind, but now they feel tied to him, to his family, and to a life that might not fully embrace her for who she is. Later that afternoon, as the sun begins to dip behind the city skyline, Angie invites Nicholas over to her apartment. The air between them is thick with anticipation. She's not sure what she needs from him, but she knows they can't move forward unless they confront what's really at stake. When Nicholas arrives, she doesn't greet him with the usual smile or open arms. Instead, she takes a deep breath, her heart pounding, and opens the door, her expression serious. Nicholas, we need to talk, Angie begins, her voice steady but tinged with vulnerability. Last night was incredible, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm scared. I'm scared of losing myself in this relationship. I've worked my whole life to build something on my own, and I'm not sure I can give that up for you, or for your family. Nicholas's heart sinks, but he doesn't back away. He steps into her apartment, his presence gentle but firm. I don't want you to give up anything, Angie. I want to support you, no matter what. But what you're saying, it feels like you think you have to choose between us. Angie shakes her head. No, I don't want to choose. I just want to make sure that I'm not losing myself in this. Your family, they're not going to make it easy for me. They don't understand who I am or what I've worked for. Nicholas looks down, his hands fidgeting with the cuff of his sleeve. I know. My family doesn't understand. They think that my responsibilities, my duty, come before everything else. But you've made me realize there's more to life than just doing what's expected of me. There's a pause as they both consider the weight of their words. Angie takes a step forward, her eyes searching his. I don't want to be some trophy, Nicholas. I don't want to be part of your perfect life. I want to be a partner, someone you can rely on and grow with, not someone who's always in the shadow of your family's expectations. Nicholas's expression softens, and he reaches out to gently take her hands. I've been living in that shadow my whole life. But last night, when I declared my love for you, publicly, I realized that I don't care about what they want anymore. I care about you. I want to be with you. Not because I have to, but because it's who I am. And I want you to be with me, on your terms, not just because I said it in front of a crowd. Angie's breath catches in her throat, and she squeezes his hands tighter. But it's not just about your family. It's about us, what we can build together. If we're going to make this work, we have to be honest with each other. We can't let fear or insecurity dictate our future. Nicholas nods, a quiet resolve settling in his chest. I promise I'll never let my family's expectations come between us again. Slowly, Angie nods, a tear slipping down her cheek. I promise. But we're going to have to keep talking, keep fighting for this. We both have our dreams, and I want to make sure we build something that's ours. Nicholas pulls her into an embrace, his voice muffled as he holds her close. We'll build it. Together. For the first time in weeks, the weight that has been bearing down on both of them starts to lift. They've had the difficult conversation, faced their doubts, and chosen each other despite the obstacles. There's still a long road ahead, but for the first time, they both feel confident in what they can achieve, both individually and as a couple. Nicholas knows that words alone won't be enough to undo the tension that has built between him and Angie. He spent the last few days reflecting on their conversation, realizing just how much he's taken for granted in their relationship. He doesn't just want to win her back, he wants to prove that he's truly committed to her, to them, and to building a future together, on their terms, not anyone else's. With Christmas Eve drawing near, Nicholas sets his plan into motion. He enlists the help of his trusted staff and the very event planners who helped him organize his family's grand holiday gatherings over the years. But this time, it's different. This event isn't about impressing the elite or pleasing his family. It's about showing Angie that he's willing to make a stand, not just for love, but for her. As the days pass, Angie continues her work on her business, trying to move forward without thinking too much about Nicholas. But deep down, she can't shake the lingering feelings of hurt, doubt, and uncertainty. She's trying to stay strong, focusing on her dreams, but her heart still longs for Nicholas. She knows she's not quite ready to forgive him fully, not yet. The night of the grand gesture arrives. Angie, exhausted from a busy day at the Starlight Ballroom, is preparing to leave the office when she receives an unexpected invitation. It's a handwritten note, sealed with a wax stamp, in Nicholas's familiar elegant handwriting. Meet me at the Karmichael estate, under the mistletoe. I have something I need to show you. Confused and curious, Angie hesitates. What could this be about? She wants to say no, wants to stay away and keep her guard up, but she can't help the pull in her heart. She puts on her coat and heads out, unsure of what to expect. When she arrives at the Karmichael estate, the gates are open, and a warm glow spills from the mansion windows. Nicholas had told her that the house would be empty. His family had gone away for the holiday, leaving him to oversee preparations for an event. As she steps through the doors, she's met by the sight of the grand staircase, its banister adorned with garlands of holly and sparkling lights. The air is filled with the scent of pine, cinnamon, and something else, something that feels like magic. Nicholas appears at the top of the stairs, looking as handsome as ever, but there's something different in his demeanor, a quiet confidence, mixed with a nervous excitement. He smiles when he sees Angie, his eyes filled with warmth and longing. "Angie," he calls softly, his voice echoing through the large foyer. "I've been waiting for you." Angie, unsure what to say or feel, takes a tentative step forward. "What's all this about, Nicholas? Why did you bring me here?" Nicholas gestures for her to follow him, and she does so, though her mind is swirling with questions. He leads her out to the back garden, where an entire winter wonderland has been set up. Fairy lights twinkle on every tree, snow softly falling around them, and a large ice sculpture of a heart glistens under the light of a full moon. In the center of the garden stands a grand gazebo, surrounded by lanterns that glow warmly in the cold night. Angie is speechless. She takes it all in, the effort, the details, the thought behind it, and her heart stirs with something unfamiliar, hope. Nicholas steps forward and takes her hand gently, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "I've spent so much of my life trying to follow other people's expectations. But when I met you, everything changed. You reminded me of who I really am, of what I really want. And I want you, all of you. I want to share my life with you, Angie, not because it's what's expected, but because it's what I truly desire." He looks down, his voice softening. "I know I hurt you, and I'm sorry. I can't undo the past, but I'm asking for a chance to prove to you that I'm committed to us, to you. I'm not asking you to forget what happened. I'm just asking for the opportunity to show you that I can be the man you deserve." Angie feels a tear slip down her cheek, her emotions threatening to overflow. She has waited for this moment, for him to show up and take responsibility for his actions, for him to put his heart on the line, just as she had done. "I've never had someone fight for me like this," she whispers. "I've always been afraid of losing myself, of losing my independence. But I see now that I don't have to choose between my dreams and my heart. I can have both." Nicholas reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a small velvet box. He opens it to reveal a delicate diamond necklace, a symbol of their journey, a promise for the future. "I don't expect you to say yes right away," he says, his voice filled with sincerity. "But I want to show you that I'm all in, every part of me. This is just the beginning of what I hope will be a lifetime together." Angie looks down at the necklace, then back at Nicholas, her heart overflowing with love and acceptance. She places her hand over his, tears blurring her vision. "I've never been more sure of anything," she says softly. "I'm in, too." In that moment, the world feels like it slows. The lights twinkle around them, the snow falls gently from the sky, and Nicholas leans in to kiss her, tender, slow, and full of the promise of a future neither of them had ever imagined. As they pull away, still wrapped in the warmth of their love, Nicholas smiles and whispers, "Merry Christmas, Angie." "Merry Christmas, Nicholas," she replies, her heart finally at peace. Though Angie and Nicholas have come a long way in their journey together, the real work is just beginning. Now that they've confessed their love for each other, the world around them seems intent on testing their resolve. The pressure from Nicholas's family remains a constant obstacle, and Angie, still navigating the challenges of building her own business, is constantly torn between her personal dreams and her relationship. The external pressures intensify when Nicholas's family, in an attempt to mend their strained relationship with him, demands that he attend a high-profile gala in London. The event, intended to showcase the Karmichael family's wealth and influence, is an annual affair that requires his presence. Nicholas is expected to show up with a significant other by his side, someone who fits their idea of what a proper partner should be. He can feel his family's disapproval looming as they comment on Angie's background and career aspirations. They suggest that a woman from a prominent background would be more fitting for their son, someone who could easily navigate their world of high society and established connections. This time, though, Nicholas refuses to compromise. He stands firm, telling his parents that Angie is the woman he loves and that he will not be pressured into making any decisions about his relationship based on their expectations. He wants them to understand that his relationship with Angie is not a passing phase but a deep, meaningful connection. However, the situation is more complicated than just standing his ground. Angie, knowing that this gala is an essential event for Nicholas's family, insists that he go alone if his family insists on it. She doesn't want to be the cause of any more tension, feeling that her presence might only bring more scrutiny and judgment. "Nick, I love you, but this isn't just about us," Angie says, her voice laced with both understanding and sadness. "You have responsibilities, and I can't keep asking you to choose between your family and me. You need to be there, for you and for them. I don't want to be the reason you're not where you're supposed to be." Nicholas's heart aches at her words. He understands why she feels this way. She's trying to protect him, but he's not willing to let go of what they've built together. "Angie, you're my heart. I can't let them decide who I am or who I love. I know this gala means a lot to my family, but it won't mean anything if I'm not being true to myself. And I can't be true to myself without you by my side." But Angie still hesitates. She's afraid of how her presence at the event might make Nicholas a target for further criticism. She's built a career from the ground up, and the idea of being scrutinized by people who come from a world she doesn't belong to feels overwhelming. She wonders if she's strong enough to handle the pressure. "You don't deserve to have to fight for us every day, Nick," she says, her voice trembling. "What if it's too much for both of us? What if we can't balance our dreams and this life we're trying to build?" Nicholas takes her hands in his voice soft yet resolute. "We'll face everything together, Angie. All the challenges, all the doubts. You've been my strength from the start, and I believe in us. We're stronger than any obstacle that comes our way." Despite her doubts, Angie decides to accompany him to the gala. The night of the event arrives, and she feels a wave of anxiety hit her as they step out of the car and into the grand ballroom of the hotel where the gala is being held. The glittering chandeliers, the high society conversations, and the expensive gowns make Angie feel like an outsider. She clings to Nicholas's arm, trying to navigate the unfamiliar terrain, but she can't help but feel out of place. As the night progresses, Angie feels the weight of judgment in every gaze. The whispers about her being just an event planner, instead of someone from their world sting, and she retreats to the balcony for a moment of solitude. Nicholas, noticing her absence, follows her, finding her standing at the railing, looking out over the city. "Angie," he says gently, placing a hand on her shoulder. "I see it, the way they're looking at you. But I need you to know something. None of this matters to me. You matter. You've always mattered." She looks at him, her eyes filled with uncertainty. "But I don't fit in here, Nicholas. I don't have the right background, the right connections. I feel like I'm holding you back. Nicholas pulls her into his arms, his voice firm with the conviction of someone who knows exactly what they want. You're not holding me back. You're everything I've ever wanted. Don't you see? I've spent my whole life surrounded by wealth and privilege, but it's you, your heart, your ambition, your strength, that makes me feel alive. Not all this. He gestures to the grand ballroom. I don't need this world. I need you. Angie feels the weight of his words, and for the first time that evening, she lets herself believe that maybe, just maybe, they can make this work. As they hold each other close, she realizes that it's not the external challenges that will define them, it's how they face them together, side by side. The rest of the evening is a little easier, though not without its challenges. The whispers and stares remain, but Nicholas continues to shield Angie, keeping her close and reminding her constantly that he's with her, no matter what. By the time they leave the gala, their bond is stronger than ever, and Angie feels more certain about their future. But this isn't the end of their struggles. As the holiday season nears its peak, Nicholas and Angie are faced with even greater obstacles, both internal and external, that will test their relationship in ways they never imagined. The holidays are in full swing, and the city is adorned with twinkling lights and festive cheer. Everywhere they go, Angie and Nicholas are surrounded by the joy and warmth of the season, but the underlying tension from the past few weeks still lingers. Though they've made strides in overcoming their challenges, both feel the weight of their respective worlds pulling at them in different directions. For Angie, the road to building her event planning business hasn't been easy. She's faced setbacks, doubts, and pressure from those who believed she wasn't ready to take the leap. But with Nicholas's unwavering support, she's slowly beginning to see the possibility of her dreams coming true. The encouragement she's received from him and those closest to her gives her the strength to push forward. For Nicholas, the battle to reconcile his love for Angie with his family's expectations has been a difficult one. His desire to stand firm in his commitment to her has caused tension with his parents, especially his mother, who still holds on to the idea of him marrying someone more suitable in her eyes. But over the past few weeks, Nicholas has realized that love doesn't adhere to societal standards or traditions. It's about choosing the person who truly completes your heart. Angie has proven to be that person for him. As Christmas approaches, Nicholas arranges a surprise for Angie. He takes her to a cozy, hidden-away cabin in the woods, far from the prying eyes of society and the pressure of his family's expectations. The cabin is decorated simply but beautifully, with a fire crackling in the hearth and the scent of pine filling the air. The snowy landscape outside creates a serene and peaceful atmosphere, offering a brief moment of respite from the chaos they've both been experiencing. I've been thinking a lot about what we've been through, Nicholas says, leading Angie to the fire. This has been a season of change for both of us. But I know what I want now more than anything. Angie, her heart full of love for him but still carrying some hesitation, takes a deep breath. Nicholas, I'm not sure where we fit into each other's lives. There's so much pressure from the outside world, your family, my career. It feels like there are so many things pulling us apart. Nicholas smiles softly and reaches for her hands, his eyes filled with determination. It's true. But I don't want us to let those things dictate our future. What I know for sure is that I love you, Angie. And nothing, not my family, not society, not the pressure of our circumstances, will change that. Angie looks at him, tears welling up in her eyes. She's never been one to easily express vulnerability, but in this moment, she feels a flood of emotions. I love you too, Nicholas. I've always been so focused on making my dreams come true, but somewhere along the way, I realized that it's not just about what I achieve, it's about the people I share my life with. You're that person for me. They stand in the warmth of the firelight, both of them fully realizing how far they've come, how much they've grown, and how deep their love for each other runs. That evening, as they sit by the fire and share a quiet dinner, they talk about the future, the possibilities that lie ahead, both individually and together. Angie tells Nicholas about her plans for the event planning business and the steps she's going to take to make it a reality. Nicholas, in turn, shares that he's ready to take on the role of a true partner to her, not just in their personal lives, but also as her biggest supporter in her business journey. The next morning, as the sun rises over the snowy landscape, Nicholas leads Angie outside to where a large Christmas tree stands, adorned with twinkling lights and ornaments. He pulls out a small, beautifully wrapped box and hands it to her. Angie opens it carefully, revealing a delicate necklace with a heart-shaped pendant. "This is for you," Nicholas says, his voice full of emotion. "I've been thinking about this moment for a long time. And I want you to know that no matter what happens, you'll always have my heart." Angie's breath catches as she looks up at him, her eyes brimming with tears. "Nicholas, I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," Nicholas replies, stepping closer. "I just need you to know that I'm here, with you, for as long as you'll have me. And no matter what challenges we face, we'll face them together." With that, Nicholas bends down and, in the glow of the Christmas morning light, softly kisses Angie. The kiss is a promise that no matter what lies ahead, they will face it together, hand in hand. The night of the grand holiday gala is finally here, and the Karmichael estate is a breathtaking sight, glittering lights, shimmering decorations, and a palpable sense of joy in the air. The guests are elegant, the music enchanting, and the atmosphere is alive with excitement. But amidst all the festivity, Angie Wells and Nicholas Karmichael stand at the center of it all, their love stronger than ever. Angie, now fully embracing her role as both a businesswoman and the woman Nicholas loves, has successfully launched her own event planning business. It's been a whirlwind journey, full of late nights and hard work, but she's found a balance between her passion and her heart. Nicholas, as her unwavering supporter, has made sure she knows that he believes in her and her dreams, no matter the challenges they might face. Tonight, they are not just the beautiful couple everyone admires, they are a testament to the power of love and perseverance. The past few weeks have been full of growth for both of them, personally and professionally, and as the snow falls gently outside the grand windows of the ballroom, they take a moment to reflect on everything they've overcome together. At the heart of the ballroom, Nicholas takes Angie's hand and leads her to the dance floor. The orchestra begins to play a soft waltz, and the crowd parts to make way for the couple. Angie's heart flutters as they glide across the floor, her eyes locked on Nicholas's. He smiles down at her, his gaze filled with pride and affection. "This is it, Angie," Nicholas murmurs, his voice just loud enough for her to hear over the music. "This is what I've been waiting for. A future with you by my side, building something real and lasting." Angie, her heart full of love for him, responds with a soft laugh. "I think I've been waiting for it too. Maybe I didn't know it at the time, but this, everything we've built, is exactly what I needed." As they twirl under the sparkling chandeliers, the world around them seems to fade away. It's just the two of them, their hearts in perfect sync, dancing through a moment of pure happiness. The snow outside the windows swirls in delicate patterns, adding to the magic of the evening. The guests watch in awe, seeing a love story unfold before their eyes, a love that has defied expectations and proven that sometimes, following your heart leads you to the most unexpected, beautiful places. Nicholas pulls Angie closer, his lips brushing her ear as he whispers, "I'll always be here for you, no matter what. You're my partner, not just in love but in everything. Let's build a future we can be proud of." Tears well up in Angie's eyes as she looks at him, the weight of their journey and the depth of her feelings filling her heart. "And I'll be here for you too, Nicholas. Every step of the way." The music swells as they continue to dance, their movements graceful and in perfect harmony. They are no longer just two people from different worlds trying to make it work. They are a team, united by love, trust, and the belief that together, they can achieve anything. As the dance comes to an end, Nicholas spins Angie one last time, and as she comes back into his arms, he pulls her close for a kiss. The crowd erupts in applause, but for Angie and Nicholas, the moment is theirs alone. It's a kiss that seals the promises they've made to each other, to support each other's dreams, to stand by each other through thick and thin, and to cherish the love that brought them together. The snow continues to fall outside, creating a perfect winter wonderland, while inside, surrounded by friends and family, Angie and Nicholas share their first public moment as a couple ready to take on the future together. The night feels timeless, a moment frozen in time that they will always remember as the beginning of their happily ever after. As the camera pulls back, the couple remains locked in their embrace, eyes filled with love and hope for the future. The snow outside falls gently, blanketing the world in a peaceful quiet, as the screen fades to black.
The Stories book is a captivating collection of tales that traverse diverse genres and emotions, spanning the realms of fantasy, science fiction, romance, and mystery. Each narrative is a journey into the unexpected, weaving intricate plots and compelling characters. With a skillful blend of vivid imagery and thought-provoking themes, this anthology invites readers to explore the depths of imagination and discover the universal threads that connect us all. From heartwarming moments to spine. We hope you enjoyed these captivating video stories. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming content like this. Thanks for watching and keep spreading the video story.